Today's news, organized by topic. Topic 1, Trump-Xi Summit in Beijing. The two-day meeting projected a tone of cautious optimism as both leaders signaled a push toward managed stability, but Xi delivered sharp warnings on Taiwan and invoked avoiding the Thucydides trap. Key agendas included trade, tariffs, export controls, notably semiconductors and rare earths, Taiwan, Iran and Hormuz security, and AI governance. Business delegations and expected purchase deals, agriculture, aircraft, energy, created market hopes. Practical progress looked possible after constructive preparatory talks, though analysts warned deep structural mistrust limits a broad rally. India and other third parties may need to recalibrate strategic positioning if U.S. China ties normalize. Topic 2. AI chips and H200 access. The U.S. Commerce Department approved imports of Nvidia H200 chips for about 10 Chinese firms and distributors, but no shipments have occurred because of strict U.S. conditions and renewed Chinese approvals and guidance that have stalled deals. Jensen Huang's presence in China and high-level talks aim to resolve hurdles, but proposals like routing revenue through U.S. territory have raised Chinese concerns. The restrictions have accelerated China's domestic GPU push. Alibaba, Tencent, Huawei, and local chipmakers are scaling alternatives, and investors are scouting non-Nvidia AI chip plays such as Cerebras amid a shifting global supply chain dynamic. Topic 3. Kevin Warsh confirmed as Fed chair. The Senate confirmed Kevin Warsh 54-45. His first FOMC meeting is slated for June 16 to 17, and Treasury officials expect one or two more hot inflation prints before meaningful disinflation. Recent data are still strong. April CPI annualized 3.8% and PPI annualized 6.0%, with import-export prices at multi-year highs, so markets see rate cuts as unlikely in the near term. Warsh advocates internal regime changes at the Fed, balance sheet and communications adjustments, but political divisions and the need for colleague buy-in make rapid policy shifts improbable. Topic 4. Commodities, bonds, and markets. The IEA and OPEC warn Middle East conflict has produced large supply losses and heightened oil volatility, with OPEC cutting its 2026 demand outlook and reporting steep production declines. Traders watch potential Strait of Hormuz disruptions. Gold showed a technical bounce around its 150-day moving average, and traders propose structured option trades to capture upside while capping cost. Despite rising import, export, and producer prices, U.S. Treasury yields eased slightly, and equity markets were mixed across Europe and Asia as investors balanced geopolitics, supply risks, and monetary policy uncertainty. Topic 5. Consumer squeeze and corporate strain. Rising oil from the Iran conflict raised pump prices, forcing U.S. consumers to cut back on durable goods. Furniture, auto dealers, department stores, and apparel all showed declines, even as retail overall edged up. Gasoline sales spiked earlier then moderated. Employment remains firm, low unemployment, positive payrolls, but fuel shocks can feed through household budgets with lag, pressuring consumption later in the year. Corporates feel it too. Some tech firms outperform on AI demand, but automakers posted large EV-related writedowns. Honda reported its first annual net loss since 1955, with GM, Ford, and Stellantis also reflecting heavy adjustments. Topic 6. Tech, AI strategy and governance. Cisco, after a strong quarter, announced a reorganization focused on AI, security and networking that includes roughly 4,000 job cuts, under 5% of staff, to redirect investment into AI infrastructure and optics, while incurring restructuring costs and offering support for affected workers. OpenAI urged creation of a U.S.-led international AI governance body, analogous to the IAEA and potentially including China, to set safety standards and coordinate research, but political acceptance, especially for Chinese participation, remains uncertain. In short, corporate strategy and international diplomacy are